Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? And come on in and take a seat. We're going to continue on with our coverage um, about Sebastian Rogers. We're on number 37. Hello, K9. Hey, I did get your email. I'm going to check into that and see, you know, what that's all about. I've been going down. There's a list out there. So I've been going down in order of the interviews. Um, but yeah, I'll check that one out, and we may just do like another special video on it. Um, I saw that there's kind of an update on the Alexi Treviso case. For those of you who haven't heard of that one, that's where um, young teenager went to the hospital with. I think I might have canine. I don't. It sounds familiar, but I'll have to check into it. Um, but Alexi Treviso, she, a young girl who was pregnant, says she didn't know she was pregnant. Went to the hospital with her mom with severe back pain. She was a cheerleader during the whole time that she was pregnant. Um, and I mean, there's pictures and video of her out there cheering, and it was obvious that she was pregnant. How her and her mother didn't know, I beside me, I guess. But anyway, she kept telling the doctors and nurses that she wasn't pregnant. I mean, of course, they did a blood test, right, to find out. In the meantime, she went to the bathroom down the corridor. She had her baby in that bathroom and then tied him up in a garbage bag, put him at the bottom of the trash, and put another bag over it, and then came out like nothing happened, but the whole bathroom was full of blood, and the baby didn't live through it. Um, but there's a lot of issues going on as to whether her rights were violated as far as um, police officers being in the room with, their cameras on and HIPAA rights and all that kind of stuff. So her trial's been postponed, but I'll get into that in like a separate video. But when I covered it before, everybody was watching those videos. So that's a really popular case, evidently. Um, but I will be doing an update on it. That is horrible, isn't it, Cherokee? It's awful. I know. It was disturbing that she was able to hide it all. Uh, Very disturbing and very telling, right? Um, because some friends had said that she had talked about what she was going to name the baby and everything else. So, um, I have a hard time believing that she didn't know. It's very hard for me to believe. Anyway, getting back to the Sebastian Rogers case, I saw some things today, about how if many of you, if you were looking at Sebastian Rogers' house, and on the right side of the house toward the back is, there was a door for the crawl space to get underneath the house. Well, um, they're talking about how that wouldn't be in the line of sight of any of the cameras in the neighborhood. So they were talking about that and about how, if he did leave um, on his own, that would be the way to do it. But would he have been that smart? I mean, I'm not saying he was dumb by any means, but I'm just saying, would he have really given thought to that? I'm not sure. Um, Everybody still wants to talk about Lexi. Yeah, I knew when I was pregnant too, but I did have a girlfriend who she was a bigger girl, okay, but she swears that she did not know she was pregnant until she went to the hospital. Um, None of us knew she was pregnant, but it was really difficult to tell for her. Um, for Lexi, let me see if I can just upload one of her pictures so that you guys can get an idea of what I'm talking about here. Of course, we've only got the one. Huh. Well, hmm. Yeah, it doesn't look like I have a picture of her when she was pregnant. Um, I do have a picture of her mugshot. That was her. So she wasn't a very big girl. She was tiny. Um, you can see 5 feet, right? A little over. Not even 5'1". So I mean, she was tiny. She wasn't big by any means. Just, um, which I think bigger girls could probably have more of a tendency to maybe hide that kind of thing. She was out front and center, you know, like I was when I was pregnant. So, yeah, um, I, I, I have a hard time with that one. Um, but anyway, things going on in the Sebastian Rogers case, as far as we all know now that the reward for information in regards to um, the Texas Roadhouse, that's all been rescinded now. They've gotten enough information, and they said that um, the my mind went blank. Um, oh, that Chris Proudfoot. It's proven that Chris Proudfoot was not there the night of. So no more speculating on that, guys. It's proven Chris Proudfoot was not at Texas Roadhouse with them. Was he in Hendersonville that we don't know. That weekend we don't know for sure, but he was not at the Texas Roadhouse with them. Um and then so hello Brenda. Good to see ya. Um Good to see everybody in here tonight. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to go ahead and get started now. This one, I honestly, this is something I've never seen. I've never watched this creator at all. I'm surprised I haven't seen them out there. So uh, I'm going to be watching it blind, okay? Just to let you guys know because I've never seen this. I don't know how long it is. So how long Seth is actually on this program. Uh, I don't know how long he's on here for. I have no idea. Like I said, this one's totally blind because I've never seen this creator before. So I'm surprised. I thought I'd had enough people out there to know. Um, Brenda and K9, can you tell me at the bottom of your chat screen, do you have pluses at the bottom? Just want to know. All right, let's continue. So credit goes to It's a Criming Shame. Okay.
there's nothing to say that could ever, of course, take the pain that you're feeling. But thank you for joining us. I want to say that first and foremost, and prayers to you and Sebastian, and that he's found. So, how are you doing today? How?
Just tired.
Yeah.
Trying to get TBI to answer questions for me. They won't answer questions.
Can I ask? Like, can you say what questions you're trying to get answers to?
Well, the thing with the speedway, that's been reported so many times, and yet I don't know if they've investigated it or not.
Okay. Here, maybe I'll do this. 1 second. Let me just take our branding off. There we go.
Don't
Okay, so you know what? To be honest with you, I haven't actually heard about the Speedway one, and I've heard a lot, but so there was a sighting at the Speedway. I'm not sure about that.
That was the gray truck that JLR was talking about.
Oh, okay, that's the one.
Am I correct, Seth?
I don't know if it's gray or what it is.
Okay.
Dark colored truck, but that was, it was more than 2 weeks ago.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, so you're trying to ask them about that one?
Yeah, because I don't want to send them any leads.
Right.
I've already done it because I ain't trying to waste my time or theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. I like your tenacity for sure. I loved watching that live you did with the Pascal show. You've done a few, and I know you've done a lot with YouTubers. Like I said, I can't even keep up with you anymore, to be honest, because I know that you're like on so many, different YouTubers and Nancy Grace and Court TV and just bringing awareness out there. And you're tired, you're exhausted, but you just want to.
I mean, it took me over a week to actually decide that I was going to do it. Because I don't like people trying to hold stuff over my head.
Absolutely.
People can have their opinions. I don't give two shits about people's opinions. I don't have social media. I don't have to get on fucking YouTube.
Yeah.
I can go about just dropping off flyers and continue to search. I appreciate people coming out to help me. I really do. I appreciate the awareness of getting my son's picture and face out there.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I mean, I've gone through probably 20,000 flyers.
Wow.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I see in different chats, people are saying, like I said, when you were here the other night, I'm not sure if you were still in here. As you said, you were taking your medication, your arms sore. I seen you. And stuff like that. And people were saying, or I showed that thing that, for rudders, that people can go help search and, obviously pick up flyers. And there's other people letting you know that they're putting flyers out there. Now, personally, I'm from Canada, and I think it was you that said that was it you that said that they've even gone as far up as Canada?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I remember you saying that.
Australia. Okay. I've even had people. We didn't know where he's at, but it's been 42 days. That means he could be anywhere in this world.
Absolutely.
Right.
That's that's the bottom line of it. I remember there was this one person that said, "Oh, I don't really share things because when I was saying that, if you see something on your Twitter or whatever and it says missing person, to share it." And then one person said, "Well, I live across the pond, so I don't bother sharing those." And I said, "But you're forgetting that a lot of the people that are on your list are probably from the U.S. and all different parts of the world." So sometimes people forget that because they're thinking, well, I'm over in, United Kingdom. What good's it going to do if I share someone over in the U.S.? Well, again, on your social media, a lot of people's friends are from the U.S. or different parts of the world. And any awareness is good awareness.
Right. Can I ask a question? Seth, you said, you're trying to get answers from TBI. Is it that they're not responding to you? or is it that they're giving you the runaround, or what's the frustration you're having with TBI right now? Because are you not getting routine updates from them, or what's going on?
I get generic responses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
It takes a lot of effort to not turn around and professionally tell them where to shut.
right. Like I said,
So, we recently found out from Seth's video um, that law enforcement was looking at him right in the beginning, and we wondered what Chris and Katie have said to law enforcement that they were looking at Seth so hard in the beginning. And I'm wondering if that's why they have not ever opened up to give Seth more information, because Chris and Katie were saying that they were in touch with them almost daily in the beginning, right? So it makes you wonder if that's a part of what's going on. Hi, it got changed, Victoria. Good to see you guys.
when I was listening to you on Pascal, I'm the same way. Like I'm just a open book, like I said, you can't hold nothing over my head, type of thing. It's like, people want to think what they want, do what they want. That's their choice. Do I care? Absolutely not. Right. You said the same thing that I always say. We're in charge of our own thoughts and actions and nobody else's and stuff like that. Basically, you just do you. Either you like me or you don't, but I'm out here kind of like looking for my child. And we know that you've been more vocal lately, Seth. And I personally have appreciated it because I like any information that helps me understand what could have possibly have happened to your poor son here. And I'm so sorry. Again, it's the worst pain. It's the most excruciating pain that any parent could possibly ever imagine, I'm sure. Like, I am so sorry that you're going through this.
Like I said, 1 in 10 youths go through it. It's horrible. The fact is that 1 in 10 is literally only the statistics for those that say something.
Yeah.
And then when you get people in chat that are trying to shame me for actually stating it, saying it's dirty laundry. It's not dirty laundry. It happened. I'm not going to sit here and let somebody hold something over my head. It happened. It did not happen under my watch. I still feel guilty as shit that it did happen. All right.
Yeah, I noticed that there was a controversy, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of shocked that so many people were like, "This didn't need to be aired" and stuff like that. Like, because personally, like the poll before this was, yes, do the same as what you did, and sorry, the wind's coming through your mic there, but most people, Seth, said yes, that they would do the same.
Yeah. I voted on the poll.
Okay, I'm not even gonna lie, Seth. Chances are, I had a feeling that you probably might be watching this live, maybe just for the title. Oops, hold on. Someone just said.
I was going to say, I didn't notice that you liked my YouTube page like an hour ago, so I got a notification.
That's true. Well, Positive Vibe says Scotland is behind you, Seth. Perfect. Thank you guys. And we'll get that. But yes, no, because I was on your page when I was trying to verify that it was you last time that you were in chat, because there's so many trolls out there, and I just don't do trolls, but there's so many trolls out there that try to pretend like either that they'll come in with like, say, a name like Sebastian, like they do. People do the most effed up things for sure. And so I just wanted to verify. So I had your page open still. And so I clicked on it and I was like, oh, I better hit subscribe, because I knew that it was you once I went and looked. But in the YouTube land, you got to know by now, for someone, if you didn't know or have too much social media and stuff like that. The trolls are a dime a dozen. They come out of the woodwork. And you just,
Oh,
like I said,
somebody has already tried to make a Facebook account and say they're me. So
Oh, I'm so sorry. I mean, I know, and I think your mom's come into our chat. So we really appreciate it, Robin.
okay. So, okay, thank you, husband. So I'm just gonna, sorry, but there was someone that says you have shamed your son. Block. We don't put up with that here. Okay.
So, Cherokee, I I think so too, because of the fact that Chris made a statement. Chris said, "I don't want Sebastian around my daughter." If Chris had never said that, then they wouldn't have been digging to find out why Chris didn't want Sebastian around their daughter. And then Chris kept going to Seth and saying, if people keep asking me this question, I'm going to say something. And that was like holding it over Seth's head. Well, Chris started it. So, if it had never been said, the odds are nobody would have known maybe to dig for it. Who knows? I mean, you could be totally right. Um, but I think it all stemmed from Chris in the beginning.
Have some respect for Seth. You will get blocked instantly. We don't put up with that stuff. Okay. If you have an opinion, that's fine. But there's a difference. This man's son is missing.
42 days.
Yeah, I really can't stand, like I said, the keyboard warriors. Come say that to his face. Sit there and say that. I bet you wouldn't. So it's stuff like that. Exactly. It's just disrespectful. Someone's child is missing.
Okay. So I've heard that term a lot lately, keyboard warriors. I think that that's a very disrespectful term to our subscribers, to the people who are out there. They don't want to be a creator, but they want to be a part. They want to listen. They want to know. They have a heart towards Sebastian or towards other cases. It doesn't matter which case it is, right? But calling people keyboard warriors, and then I've heard things like even against creators saying you don't get out there boots on the ground, you're just sitting there talking. Well, you know, I'm 66 years old. This old lady can't get out there with boots on the ground. It'd be very tough, right? Um, Not to mention I live on Social Security, so I don't have the money to get out there and travel and do boots on the ground. Maybe someday when my channel is bigger, I wouldn't mind going and passing out flyers and stuff like that. Um, you know, but right now that's just not going to happen. But that doesn't make me any less, ha- you know, important. I have a heart for Sebastian. I want to put the awareness out there for Sebastian. I want to have a channel with no drama and no hate. You know, it seems like the channels that have a lot of drama and hate grow faster, which is really sad if you think about what our society has become. But you know, I want everyone to know in chat and all my subscribers that I respect you. I don't think you're a keyboard warrior. You know, so when I hear that term, it just gets me going because I just don't think it's being respectful to those of you who are out there and have a heart, you know. So I want you to know, in my eyes, no one is a keyboard warrior.
For us, like a child as a mother, like I said, can I put myself in your shoes? Absolutely not. Am I a deep empath by nature? Absolutely. It pains me to no end to literally watch your interviews and watch the hurt and the pain and the frustration and the anger and all those emotions that you're going through. You hear it in your voice. Your mother was in here one time a couple weeks back. She didn't have nice things to say about Christopher Proudfoot, and to be honest, neither do I. But at the time that your mother had kind of come into chat, Robin, she had said some comments about Christopher Proudfoot. Like basically he's a liar, which he's been shown. Like, look at this. That you see the whole polygraph thing. I've taken it. Then on Nancy Grace, he says he's not taken one. Then he says he has one sketch, and then he doesn't even take Nancy Grace's. And then he tells somebody else the other day that he has one scheduled. You know, again, it's just like, dude, shut up, okay? But anyways, your mother had not so nice words to say about Christopher Proudfoot, and it didn't take too long, to be honest with you, for the public to see that. No.
So, yeah, I could see why Seth would say they're keyboard cowards because we've seen them in our own chat, right? Um, where people have been mean, you know, and disrespectful and hateful, and we just don't put up with it here. Um, it's just the way it goes. We just don't. So, um, I guess I could see why he would call them that. Um, I don't, I don't really have a name for him. Um, you know, in my day, being hateful, being mean, being a bully, there was no name for that. It was just being hateful, being mean, being a bully, right? Um, and that's what I call them. That's right, K9. They don't last long here because that's not what the channel is about. And if it takes us years down the road to build our channel the right way, that's what's going to happen.
Offense, but in the public of opinion, everyone's really, for the most part, is in your corner. And for us, it's a lack to be desired in the public opinion, of course.
The only thing I have to say about that is, when you say that everybody is in my corner, everybody needs to understand I'm fighting with different people. I'm not going to go tit for tat. I'm not going to respond to certain things. All right, this is about Sebastian.
Yep.
Somebody was trying to hold something that happened to Sebastian over my head.
Yep.
And, when he sat there and was saying, people want to know why I don't want my daughter around your son. And it's like,
Right.
well,
I know.
you guys are partly to blame for that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
So
Like I
don't
said,
trying to hold something over my head. I mean, I can tell you things that he told to me. Like on the first day, he looked at me and, he hadn't even been back for like 2 hours or 3 hours. And he looked at me, what are you going to do if this goes south? And I looked at him, I said, what are you talking about if I go south? What are you going to do if he's dead? And I'm like, I'm going to walk out of this house because if I do anything else, they'll put me in handcuffs right now.
yeah. Yeah.
How dare how dare you even think that my son is dead?
Can you imagine how that made Seth feel? You're two, he, you're hours into your son being missing. Why did Chris say that? Why did he say that to him? Does he know something we all don't know? I read something on one of the groups today that said it was someone's opinion, not mine. Let me preface this, but somebody said, what if Sebastian was unalived at their hand, meaning the Proud Feet, and cremated. And what if that's why Chris said you'll never find him? Anything is a possibility out there, but the thought of that just breaks my heart into pieces for Seth. You know, I can't, and to hear Chris saying that to him hours after he found out his son is missing, I can't even imagine what that felt like.
On there. Yeah, I was gonna say, um, and I remember you saying that because I'm on the Pascal show. I know you've talked on many, but exactly right. I'm not gonna go tit for tat, but I get it. I'm that same feisty version in female form, same way. But Adam, did you want to ask something?
I mean, so other than the frustration you're feeling from TBI right now, I mean, where are you guys at as far as like I mean, I'm sure you go up and down as far as emotions, but I mean, what's your game plan as far as day 43?
Tomorrow I'm gonna go get images done on my shoulder.
Okay.
Oh yeah, right. Monday. Yeah.
I take everything one day at a time. You know,
Yeah.
when my when the nurse practitioner tells me you need to stop for a few days, you guys
And
don't know everything that's going wrong with me. You see what you see. That's an outward. You don't see what's going on when the camera isn't on.
absolutely,
Sorry.
absolutely.
Well, what can the public do to help? I mean, is there anything that you need?
He says it all the time, actually. But go ahead.
I only need one thing, and that's my son to be found.
Yeah.
That's it.
To ask you a question, a couple of things, because I'd like to know. You had answered about the one day, somewhat, but I didn't honestly take it that you knew for sure the answer. Do you absolutely know for sure that Sebastian did not have internet access at school to the pads that they hand out? Do you know that for sure, Seth? Because I kind of took it as like you were saying, well, Chris and that don't let him.
Sarah, if you find that boring, I'm sure there's other channels that may be live that may be more acceptable to you. I'm not going to apologize for what I put on my channel.
But
Well,
you said
he doesn't have internet access at his house.
right.
All right. He has internet access at my house
Yes.
playing video games.
Yeah. You said he watched YouTube.
Because we sat there and play together. He doesn't have. I never bought him a Nintendo account, so his Switch doesn't have. It can pick up my Wi-Fi and download content for the games, but it's got no chat service on it, so you can't communicate with nobody. On the PlayStation, they took that and went through it because when he's on there, he's under my profile. He doesn't have a gamer tag.
Right.
And he doesn't have headphones to plug into the controller, so he can't talk to nobody. Doesn't have a chat option for him to type or anything like that. So
Right. But at school though, right? And so like I said, I've listened to you. Go ahead.
Had access for taking tests, and that was done with the teacher right there.
Okay. Yeah, right. It's just one of those things. It's just like I've listened to you, and you said that I know that it's more lenient at your house than it is at drill sergeant corporal punishment there, Christopher Proudfoot and Katie's home. You can tell the difference. Comes over to your house, it's more like like I said, going to my dad's a little bit more laid back over there for sure. You can tell. but because there's only so many scenarios, obviously, right? Like, okay, Katie and Christopher are the ones that had said, for instance, that they kept saying weird things. Okay. Well, mind you, they kept adding stuff to interviews. Then it was like pulling teeth, actually. Christopher Proudfoot actually spoke the most. It was like Katie's Muppet in a sense, always talking for her, talking over her in a sense. But they're the
Maybe
one.
maybe she should remove her hand out of his ass.
Right. You know, I mean, honestly, it's kind of one of those things. It's like I remember her saying on I think it was the Smiley World's channel, um, where it was kind of like, well, I don't have an issue with Chris talking for me, like, and I'm just like, but people want to hear from you. You're the mother. You are the mother. You know, like just like you're being a voice for Sebastian because you're the father. You want to hear the mother speak. You don't want to hear the stepdad, you know, in a place that's being a question posed to Katie that she would know. And so do you know absolutely for sure that that first of all, Christopher Proudfoot was in Memphis? Like, do you absolutely know that? Were you told that by TBI? Because you said that they also
No,
showed, okay, you don't know that for sure. Okay.
they haven't
Just
shared the information with me
okay.
at all.
But they shared with you that it was a garbage truck and not flashlights.
They showed me the video because that one came out from Barrett, and they
That
wanted
one,
to show. And those lights were in the top right hand corner. They were literally on the other side of the road.
right? Okay. Um, Now Christopher and Katie kept saying, well, he went out the front door, and it was locked. That doesn't make sense. Um, but meaning they're the ones telling us. They said that it was determined that the really only possible place he could have left when asked if it was a window, back door, they said that a camera would have seen him at the back window or the back door, that a camera would have seen him from the garage side, and that, you know, so I had assumed that on the window that the mulch wouldn't have been disturbed in order for them to make that claim that he didn't go out a window. But that's their version. It's not TBI's version, or right. So the
You're right.
information is only as good as what they're telling us, but that doesn't mean it's factual and true.
Correct.
It's just what they're saying to us. So take it with a
Their
grain. Go ahead.
It's their hypothesis.
Correct. I mean, we all know it's strange. A kid. So there's the money that was in the ATM machine that they said they found about a week later in his closet. That was still there untouched, Christopher Proudfoot said. Um, we've heard that, well, you know, no phone, supposedly no shoes, perhaps socks, still weird. What kid is going to run away and not take his backpack, some munchies, you know, like have a little bit of a plan going on here, you know? What, like, and you said that this is not my son, like this is something he would not do. So you don't you don't see it, Seth, as him like just, you know what, I'm gonna put on my little runaway tote and just head on out of here with no shoes, you know, but take a little
Doesn't make
flat.
sense because it's
No,
not something I think my son would do.
right. It doesn't make sense, and if it doesn't make sense, it's because there's something wrong with that
Right.
scenario.
Is,
Absolutely.
is that something Katie ever when she first contacted you brought up, that, you know, could Sebastian be on his way to your house?
Katie didn't speak.
So what was that again? Sorry, Adam.
Oh, I had asked if Katie ever asked if it was a possibility that she thought Sebastian could be on his way to Seth's house, but I think Seth froze.
Oh, okay. Seth? Oh, it almost looks like he's got his finger up here. Seth, you froze if you can hear us. Yeah, he's froze.
So Seth is froze right there, but yeah, I mean, by all intents and purposes, this entire case is strange, right? Sebastian literally vanished. He literally vanished. He would not have left. He had that money in his closet. He didn't take that. He didn't take his phone. He didn't have shoes or a jacket. He didn't go out the front door because no one saw him go out the front door. They didn't leave by the garage because there is a camera on that side from the neighbor that would have seen him go out the garage door. There is not one on the back of the house until you get further into like the common area, and then they could possibly pick something up if it wasn't that dark outside. Hi, Chai. Welcome. Glad you made it. Um, all right. So yeah, I mean, and Seth has said that many times that it makes no sense, right? It makes no sense. And so if someone is behind this, they did a very good job of hiding things, right?
I'll drop the link again because he might need it. Seth, if you can hear us, you're froze.
Seth said Katie didn't speak. Thank you, Shannon.
Until ever asked me.
Oh, sorry, Seth. You had lagged for about a good minute there.
Yeah.
It almost looked like you were picking your nose. So sorry, Adam. The question was.
Well, no, I asked if Katie had ever said anything about Sebastian possibly coming to your house, and I think you said Katie didn't speak.
Mods block Nathan. Seth is highly flawed and made mistakes and contributed to the poor parenting. Oh yeah, okay. You can just go ban user. Yeah, no need for you people in here. This is about caring about people, not attacking people. Okay.
I like what she just said. It's about caring for people in here, not attacking people. I love that. Makes me like her right away. This is Sunny with the criming shame. Chai, you asked that. And the past, welcome. We're happy to have you here. Is there a possibility that Sebastian never returned home that night from these outings? You know, that's a possibility. And why do I say that? Well, because the last that he was really seen for certainty was the proof of life video where he was getting into the car outside of Texas Roadhouse. Okay. There is a grainy, I guess, very blurry video of someone taking the trash down to the road, but even Seth said you couldn't tell who that was. And that's why he would not take that video as proof of life, because he couldn't tell if it was, who it was, right? So I know, Chai, I've never seen this one either. I've never seen this channel, actually. So.
Okay. Robin says, do you think someone could have went in, took him after Katie went to sleep? I thought I heard you say it's so dark, the camera next door may not have been able to see anyone. Oh, is he froze again?
I think he's froze again.
Oh, Seth, Seth, could you possibly log out and then come back in? I'll put the link down again because you're froze again. Oh, there we go. Paste. I'll put the link down there. Okay, 1 second. We'll just wait for. Mhm.
So K9 says the path, it is possible. I believe Dognick and the team are looking into that heavy.
Oh, sorry, I was talking and I guess I muted myself. Seth, I dropped you the link there again for StreamYard. Let's see here. 1 sec, guys. My husband brought me this nice burger and curly fries, but it's going to go cold. Adam, you still there?
I can tell you, Nick did ask me what my thoughts were. And without going into detail of what I told Nick, um, the last thing I said to him is that I am stuck because, you know, I mean, we can speculate all day long, right? But there's no proof of anything of where he went, right? You're welcome, the path. I pray for good news too. Um, uh, we have been doing something on Sebastian every day for, I don't know, months now, right, guys? It's been a while. And it's because I have a heart towards Sebastian. I also put his picture on my social media every day. My porch is lit up green, and I live in Wisconsin. So um, I care. I care about this missing young man. It's not that I don't care about other cases, I do. But it's been 9 months, and we need answers now. We need answers yesterday, right, guys? Yeah. It's been, I can't even imagine what Seth is going through 9 months in. This is rough. Let's see if he's on again yet.
Yeah, I am here. Well, I hope he's able to reestablish his connection.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look here. I really like to know if. Okay, welcome back. You kept lagging there, Seth. Are you okay now?
Yeah, I lost all internet and signal and everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How is typically your Wi-Fi over there? Your signal, like, is it typically pretty good?
No.
Oh,
So I live between an airport and a Navy base. I mean,
okay. Yeah. Yeah. So again, just wanted to, like I said, um, this particular space, this channel, it's trying to be about caring about individuals. Again, so telling the mods that if anyone starts trying to attack Seth, they get blocked. There's no need of it. You're a parent that's suffering. People try to do that in the Delphi case as well, attack the family members. Won't have any of it. You're here because of your son, and those people can, like I said, can take a long walk off a short pier for all I care. But anyways, okay. So okay, did you see the video? And I know you've talked about different things, but I never particularly heard this one. I heard that you watched the video of supposedly Sebastian taking the garbage out. Did you see that video?
I did.
And was it Sebastian?
It was too dark to tell.
Okay.
See,
Because
that's
do
what
you know
I
what
thought
time
he
of the night
said.
it was for that?
No, because I didn't see a timestamp on it.
Okay. Right, because 6:30 apparently. I think there was a waitress that said like that they had left at about 6:30 from the restaurant, And Katie had said that he took out the garbage, but there was no kind of clear time. But it doesn't matter. So you were saying that it was too dark or too whatever, that you really couldn't make out if it was. Did you see movement of a person though?
Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Do you find it? And I'm not trying to show shade to Katie or Chris on this because they do that well enough themselves. But they
She
didn't
made a
have an
good point there.
alarm or motion or nothing. Like no cameras, no alarm, no motion detectors. I don't know. I just thought usually nowadays, it's so odd that she works for Brinks, but yet doesn't that they didn't like.
Okay, I have heard this before. I'm really curious, you guys. Do any of you have alarms and motion detectors in your home? If you do, put a 1. If you do not, put a 2 in the chat. Please, everyone that's here, could you please answer that? I don't. So, and I understand that in this day and age, a lot of people might, but I'm just curious as to how many people really do. You know, because Chai, you don't. Okay. So, I'm not going to come after Chris and Katie for not having a motion detector or cameras inside their home. Okay, Malakat, you have one. Cherokee, you don't. Betty, you don't. Hi, Malakat and Betty. Haven't had a chance to say hello to you tonight. Okay. Canine has a camera in her house to watch her animals while she's out. Not a bad idea, Brenda Joe. Your husband, Cherokee, your husband, you plan on getting them though. I'm not saying it's not a bad idea. It's a good idea, especially with children, right? And especially with an autistic child. But I just wondered how. Chai says my house protected by God and German shepherds. I just wondered how reasonable it was to even ask this question because I it's not something that I really feel that you know, we should hold any parent to, right? Um, yes, things are changing in the world, but not everybody wants cameras inside their home. I don't think I do. It's bad enough knowing that you the minute you step outside, you're probably on somebody's ring camera somewhere. Or when you're driving down the road, you're on city cameras and business cameras and you know, I mean, yeah, so I, that was my thought was I don't think I could hold any parent to that right now. I just don't think that is it a good idea? Absolutely, but should we be knocking them for that? No. No, not at all.
Like you would think, I don't know why, but for some reason in my head, I'm trying to equate Mr. Drill Sergeant Christopher Proudfoot there, that he would have all eyes on anyone.
Especially especially being the fact that he was away from the house for such long periods of time. To me, that didn't fit with his personality either. But
yeah, I know. Did you find that strange at all, or just no? I mean,
Find it strange. I mean, I don't have one at my house, but I rent.
yeah.
right.
In order to do that, I have to tap into the electrical system and everything else because I've already looked into it.
I agree with you,
Okay.
Cherokee.
And of course, I know that you know this, that there's so many people like Joyce Ann Hoskins and a lot of people in chat. I pray every night for Seth and Sebastian, but last night was the first night I just cried. I tried to speak, but could just cry. So I know Seth has to be hurting 1,000 times
Good
over Seth.
point.
I mean, I can't say this enough. And thank you for all you loving, caring people in the world that truly care and have empathy. for people that are in situations like this. But I can't stress this enough. My biggest pain inside is when people, because we cover the murdered and the missing, because people have to suffer, like in your case, what's going on right now, to even try to comprehend, describe what that must be feeling like, that your only son is missing and you have no idea where he is, makes me, many times I've put, tears coming in my eyes, because it's such the most unimaginable pain to me to ever put upon a parent. And that's, I'm sure, like I said, it's just the most imaginable pain for someone. And my heart goes out to you. And
it would piss me off too.
Absolutely. Like, okay. And I know you've answered this before, but let's pretend like you haven't. But what do you feel that someone has, Sebastian? That someone helped and aided him?
All I have is
Circumstantial.
and
Like
TBI. TBI doesn't want to listen to it. Sumner County doesn't want to listen to it. Yeah.
Really? On a scale of 1 to 10, how frustrating is that for you? 100? Yeah, on there.
So Jackie Young says, have you seen the clothes that you saw your son wearing on the Texas Roadhouse video?
The
No,
jeans.
I'm back in that house since the little escapade with my sister setting up a GoFundMe.
Right. That's kind of where it all went down. Because, okay, now if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, I know Katie said that he was wearing jeans. And I believe I want to say she said a white shirt. Is that correct?
It was jeans, and I think it was a blue, like a grayish blue, long sleeve shirt.
Long sleeve. Okay, for that. Okay. Only because obviously a lot of people don't even feel like Sebastian made it home after that. Let's see. If the trash, Sherry says, if the trash video was taken, there must be footage of anyone coming or going the weekend and should be checked. Okay. Thanks, Sherry. Cars. I knew that on Trev Time that there was this rumor of a vehicle at 3 something in the morning. Anything about that you've heard about any vehicles, mysterious vehicles in the area?
I've already given the information to TBI.
Okay.
So
But you have,
because they're not going to respond to me. They're not going to tell me if they checked it out. They're not going to tell me anything. So pretty much I get to take a whole bunch of flyers and take a map and throw a dart at it and find out where I'm going to start next.
I get it. Yeah, absolutely. And Jacqueline, thank you for the super sticker. But he has answered that one for the Speedway tip. So yes, he has heard about it, and he's you said, you go ahead and answer again if you would like, Seth, to that.
Yeah.
Oh, 1 second.
I don't know.
I sent the information to TBI. I don't know if they checked on it or not.
Okay. Someone said, okay. No, so again, this timeline. I mean, the timeline that we hear is in the morning. Okay. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the timeline yourself many times. So in the morning, Sebastian is, laughing. They're joking around. He calls a relative to brag. I'm not even sure what it was to brag about. Katie didn't really say. It was really weird, strange though, when she looks over to Chris though and goes, and then we went to pick up, his cousin, and she looks like literally over to Chris, and Chris is just like, as if he was there. That was always strange to me. Like, not that I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do note red flags when I see them. And he said, if Sebastian would have went out the window, we would have heard him, is what he said on a podcast. And then when Katie turns to him, Seth, and kind of is like, and then we went to pick up. I'm assuming that that's a cousin from Chris Proudfoot's side. Do you know that morning of his disappearance, or sorry, on the 25th, eats breakfast. They get a call from, I guess, maybe the aunt. They go pick up his cousin, they say.
Well, it depends because if it depends on depending on who you listen to, you know, either Katie went to pick them up or Melissa went to pick them up. So I
Okay.
don't. I mean, no, I don't know.
Well, I was going to say, so go
Nobody
ahead.
has story straight. So it's like if your stories aren't matching and your stories aren't straight, then at least one of you are lying. If
Hmm. That's just like, just to ask you, do you, okay, because I've watched their interviews and theirs are easy to keep track of because unlike yours, because now you're everywhere, right? On all YouTube, putting out Sebastian, hey, people come help out and search, come put out flyers. Look, I just want my kid back. Please, 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 do what you can to help assist, and you're just speaking out every which way you can, and I get it. I bet you feel like if you're just sitting there, you feel like you're probably, you know what I mean? And your son's out there missing. Do you feel guilty if you're just sitting there, Seth?
I feel frustrated because I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
Right. Where else to go? Where else to look? Exactly. I
It's like when I did the show for Pascal, I told him I could do it 9 o'clock at night
yeah,
because by then I'm back here, and you know I don't want any of my volunteers out there after dark because we got people following them around. I want them to be in the daylight. It's
yeah.
just
Well,
I'm trying to find
exactly.
my son,
Uh,
and
I
at the same point in time, I'm trying to make sure everybody who helps me doesn't get hurt.
absolutely. I mean, you know, honestly, it's just such a mind, like I call it like a mind fuck, really. Like honestly, like I mean, I sat there and I've listened to all of Katie's. Oh, that's what I'm sorry. That's what I was going to ask you. Like they've added, okay, the first one they did on a podcast, okay, which had 5K viewers, subscribers. I thought that was strange, but apparently the podcaster, somebody knew the Proudfoots, and I thought that was strange, you know, just for the fact that I would think that the media out there, like the actual news outlets, those people can put stuff out there in a sense farther than a 5K channel. No offense to the channel that was called Duchess that they were on first. Now that's when Katie and Christopher, and mostly Christopher was doing the talking, um, and they talked about the flashlight, and they kept saying about the door being locked. It's funny how they never really mentioned it more so.
So I I don't know why this conversation is going in this direction, I guess. Um, Seems like a lot of the interviewers want to ask Seth about Chris and Katie. And, you know, how is he going to know? He doesn't know. Um, they know when the family left the restaurant. They could start there and work down the road tracing the vehicle's location. Some cars have GPS trackers too. And I would hope that um, law enforcement has done this. Guys, remember that they know a lot more than we know, right? Um, some cars and buses also have cameras. That's how they track the shooters in the Adelson case. They want sensationalism for views, in my opinion. Yeah. Um, And I guess that's where I get frustrated, because I want to hear about Sebastian. I want to hear what news Seth might have, even though they may not be telling him much, but he's out there, right? That's what I want to hear about. I don't want to rehash that Chris and Katie have said different things and they've added to, because we all know that, right? I mean, we've watched them. We've watched those videos. For those of you who have been with me from the beginning, Chai and Canine, some Mike, some of you who have been watching these with me from the beginning have known, that, yeah, Chris and Katie have been their own worst enemy. I should say Chris more so than anybody. Um, and so, you know, yeah, we know all that. What is Seth going to tell us about that? What can he tell us? And why would he? You know, Granny, you have Sebastian's best interest. I hear it in your voice. That's why I'm here. You're very supportive of the facts. I am. I really try to stick with the facts. It doesn't mean I won't listen to speculation. Um, yeah, I don't know where Mike is tonight, guys. We miss him. See, Chai, just like we missed you when you're not here. we miss we miss our regulars here. So those of you who are here, the Path and Victoria, the other ones, become a regular because we'll miss you too. um, but yes, I do care. I do have Sebastian's best interests at heart. I'm glad you can hear it in my voice. Sometimes I wonder if, you can see it. And honestly, the only reason I don't get on camera is because from the time that I was very young, I always used makeup. You can ask my cousin Brenda, who's here. You can ask any of my family. I never went anywhere without makeup. Well, now that I'm retired, I don't put makeup on, and but honestly, yes, I'm that vain enough, even at 66 years old, that I don't want to get on screen without putting on makeup and doing my hair and so that's the only reason I don't get on, not because I'm trying to hide anything. So I'm glad you can hear that in my voice, Chai, that I do care. I really do. And I not only care about Sebastian, but I care about, you know, every case that I've been on. The biggest one that hit me was the Gabby Petito case, guys. That one broke my heart. That was really probably the one that got me hooked onto true crime. Um, but yes, I have a heart toward these cases and toward the victims in these cases. Who was out at the restaurant together? Just Sebastian and his mom or others? Well, um, Dog, no, Nick put out a comment. I don't know if it was late last night or today. I did share it on my community page that Chris Proudfoot was not with them that night for dinner. So, he has been ruled out. Um, I think he even went as far to say that it was just Sebastian and his mom there that night on the 25th. Don't quote me on that part though, but I do know that Chris was not there on the 25th at dinner with them.
After that. So the first time they said the most information was on that first interview that they did on the Duchess channel. Then they did one with WSMV, and it's like they glazed over. Like they were talking, right? And they're sitting there, of course, the news, a little bit different kind of vibe. And it's like, there's at no point would Katie really give any sort of timeline. It was just more like, we woke up, we went and did some errands, went out, had for dinner, if she even said that the first time, can't remember, I'd have to go listen again. He said at 9 o'clock, I told him it was time to go to bed. And then, he says, love you, mama, love you, puppies. And then next thing you know, she wakes him up or goes to go wake him up and he's not there. And then, and then the next one they're too emotional and we're just looking at hands. Like this is your child and we're looking at hands, because they're too emotional to do the interview. But yet, sorry, no offense, but that was when they were the least emotional from the interviews I had personally watched. But I was like, this is your son. Like what the heck? Like, if I'd be like, just like you, Seth, I'd be exactly like what you're doing. That's who I am as a person. Get your butt off, put your face on the front. If Sebastian's out there, mama, show your freaking face on the camera, okay? None of this hand-holding crap. But anyways, my personal opinion. But anyways, then all of a sudden we hear about a thud at 10 o'clock. And then she says, according to Katie, she says, like, Sebastian, did you fall out of your bed? No, ma'am. Okay, I don't care whatever you're doing in there, but get your butt to bed, basically. But she never said anything more about the flashlight in interviews. It's been very sporadic and added information. And it's like pulling teeth. Whereas you come out and you're just like, hey, I'll answer. What do you guys want to know? I'll answer you. You were more, I'll say politically correct at the start a little bit. You were just, getting your feelers out there, doing some things at the start. And then as time has come on, you're just like, poof.
So Chai says, Seth has stated that from day one that Chris was in Memphis. Yeah, but that's what he was told. That doesn't necessarily mean that he was. There have been other rumors out there as well. I don't know whether he was home that weekend. Somebody said it was a 4-day weekend. I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But he wasn't at the dinner for sure. I do know that much. And yes, the hands interview, that was the weirdest thing. I think that they did the hands part because they didn't want to be judged by their body language. That's my opinion. It's the only thing that makes sense, right? That's my opinion.
Okay, here it is. Here's the info. You guys want to know? Here it is. But what do you think about that? Like this thud at 10 o'clock, all of a sudden, that got put into the story in a sense. I guess my question there is, like, what about this thud?
If there was a thud in my house, I'll go check it out.
You would think. She said she was right in the living room.
But see, her whole description of that is the whole reason why if you're a true parent, you're gonna go check on your kid.
I would absolutely. I'm a protective parent, and I just have one son. He's 27 now. But honestly, if I would have heard a thud, my ass would have been off that couch so fast, checking to see what happened. But that's just, me. I definitely would have gotten up, but that's just me. So I don't know.
And investigating,
Some people are asking, do you feel like Katie's interviews, and I hate to ask this, really,
because
we've never projected that you or Katie or Chris had anything to do with any disappearance of Sebastian. That's up to the at some point the story to come to fruition for whatever has happened to Sebastian. Knowing full well that you have an alibi at work, You work for, like I said, a deputy for Davidson County there, that you were offered to take a lie detector. Actually, did you take the one with Nancy Grace yet?
No, it's Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday? Okay, perfect. So at least you're gonna. I know you're gonna keep your word. Go
It's
ahead.
Wednesday. I haven't heard from TBI that I can't take it yet.
Say that one more time.
Said I haven't heard from TBI.
Oh. Okay, I got it. Or perhaps CBI is going to tell you that you can't go on the Nancy Grace show as well.
I don't know. Maybe they'll tell me it violates HIPAA.
Let me make
Right.
this clear.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
So Seth, I mean, from what you know, I mean, do you think Chris and Katie know more about what happened with Sebastian going missing than they've told people?
I don't know. But when a person's not forthcoming with information, or whenever they tell the story, things change.
Yeah.
You have to ask yourself why.
Hmm. Grandma always said that if it doesn't sound right to the ear, that it's because there's something wrong.
Like a duck, acts like a duck.
Right? But it's not no swan, right? Quacks like a duck, acts like a duck. Definitely ain't no swan. Exactly.
Should I come up with some granny-isms, guys? Chai, I agree with you. Chris did the speculation to himself. He really did. Um, and I also agree with you. Whoops. That and they need to stop throwing gas in the fire between the parents. I agree. So, you can really tell. Isn't that something? How we have watched these interviews from the beginning, right? And what are we noticing time after time? And it's getting worse as it goes on, right? I mean, the last one, the Pascal one, and like I said, I'm not dissing Pascal at all. I just think he went in the wrong direction with that interview. He was trying to get some answers for his own knowledge, but I don't think he realized what he, what he was doing in the YouTube world out there. It was like pouring gas on the fire between the parents. And I think that that's where creators do a disservice to these cases because they're not sticking with the facts. They're not asking the questions, sticking with what good does it do to ask Chris and Katie about Seth? What good does it do to ask Seth about Chris and Katie? It doesn't help anything. You ask Chris and Katie about what happened the night that Sebastian left, and you keep digging in that direction, right? You ask Seth about what he's doing as far as um, the searching, what he knows as far as his knowledge, things about Sebastian, because Seth doesn't have knowledge about what happened in that home that night. You know, so we're seeing it get worse and worse and worse. It's almost like they don't have. I would go so far as to say this. Would I ever love to have Seth on my channel? Of course I would. At not even 600 subscribers, I'm not probably going to do him any good. Okay? So I wouldn't even ask him. But I wouldn't want him on if I didn't have questions for him other than asking him about Chris and Katie. Why would I? I guess I could answer that myself. Clicks and views, right? Well, no. Do I want to grow my channel? Absolutely. But I would not do that. I no. I look at this as like being a reporter, right? And you have to take that very seriously and you have to have ethics. Or am I from a different generation, guys, that nobody thinks that way anymore? Tell me what you think. Am I totally thinking wrong that there should be ethics in the true crime community? Because what they are, they're throwing gas on the fire between the parents. And maybe they didn't realize it, but that's exactly what's happening.
Like for me too, like ever since I was younger, you just pick up on cues, pick up on people's intuition, and stuff like that, and whether or not they're telling you bullshit, whether they're being truthful and stuff like that. So, like some people, like I said, that say are more highly intuitive to other people's presences, you're looking for all those little things, but within reason. Like I try to think that we're very, like, as a person, that I'm very level-headed, that I use common sense, and I'm just looking for the truth amongst what's being said, knowing full well that Katie and Chris have put out certain information, kind of like what's in my timeline thing that I made, for it, that they put out certain information. Does it make it factual and true? No. Why? Because we haven't, heard it from Ali. Information. We've heard information from you, your side of things. Does that make it official and true? Well, Seth, I'll tell you, if there's anyone I'm going to believe, it's going to be definitely you. You come across as honest and sincere. You don't come across like, say, Christopher Proudfoot, who is obviously lying. He lied about. Oh, which reminds me, I have to say this. I'm so sorry that you had to find out on a podcast about, the CPS and the abuse and, your son and stuff like that, or to find out all this information that you didn't have any knowledge of. But I'm so sorry that it took a podcast for Chris to basically open up and then try to put his tail between his legs on Nancy Grace.
It wouldn't even be open up because the way he spoke, he gloated about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. I know, I'm sorry, but I kind of deem him as a narcissist, arrogant, kind of somebody that's just full of themselves. And I think that when I listen to Nina, like I said, I try to be very balanced in our thinking. When I listen to Nina and I listen to Robin, I think the truth of what your mom said about Christopher Proudfoot came to fruition. What Nina was saying, knowing it's one-sided, but again, you just kind of try to always read between the lines about, sure, nobody's perfect, right? And someone might paint a picture in a sense like Nina. She's telling her side, but I look for the genuineness of what she's saying and if it sounds pretty reasonable. And what she's saying sounded absolutely like what my vision of Chris's personality would be like. He comes across that way. He doesn't have a very likable factor. That's the presence he's portrayed. Whereas you're very vocal and you portray this passion, this care. Yet, like you said, you're like me, like, yeah, that I don't give a shit side of what people think. So, which you simply do, but yet you can see the heart and the pain of what you're saying, looking for your son. What do you think about the fact that they took the decal off? Did you see that? Off the camper, off the car? What do you think about that, actually? About Katie taking the decal off of the side of her car for Sebastian. Did you see it?
No, I didn't see her do it, but it doesn't surprise me.
I'll show you. I've made a video, just quickly putting them side by side. Let me just take this down. So see her car there on the left has the decal, but now, and this was just taken like today or yesterday.
And that's decal for Canadians.
Oh, decal, right?
Sorry, Sonny.
No, Canadian, eh? Okay, so yeah, so my thing is this. Okay, so we were talking about this a little earlier. So my thing is this is that
The only one.
like pardon?
She's not the only one. Chris's mother is taking them all off of her vehicle too.
Isn't that like what the F, right? Like
So,
is this about
They,
Sebastian or them?
they don't care.
Honestly, like this. So we were talking about this earlier when I played this because it really this is the first thing I noticed when I seen JLR put up this video of the one without. I was like, well, where's the decal? Okay, and then all of a sudden, so I went to go find the other one because I knew that it was on.
Um, I agree. She's not focusing on Sebastian. However, she does bring up a good point. The decals about Sebastian are off Katie's car, and he brought up that they're off the Bowersox cars as well. Um, and that's interesting. You know, I think Seth was kind of starting to fall asleep there a little bit. I think he's going to get off here pretty quickly from what I can tell by her show. Um, I don't think that Sunny is trying to push him into a rage. I think she's just, I don't know what her thoughts are, but I don't think she's trying to be mean. Um, I just don't think she's realizing what she's doing, though, you know, because yeah, it's not, not a good thing.
There, but I wanted to show it visually to people. And to me, I'm like, the reason why they would take it off is because they don't want anyone to know, and they're trying to, kind of like, oh, he popped away. He dropped. And I'm sorry, you guys, if there's tons of questions out there.
Yes, it was before surgery,
Adam,
Chad.
if you see any ones that there he is. Yeah, just age. Oh yeah, you popped off there for a second like popcorn. Pop. Okay, y'all good now? On there. What were they? Well, it was
You
about
can tell he's
Sebastian on the
checking
car,
out.
right? About Sebastian. So to
Hi,
me,
Karen.
that's making it about themselves, as always. That's what it seems to be. Like,
People from
this is
all
about
over
your
tonight,
child.
huh?
So you're going to care more about the
Orlando,
fact that you don't want people to know that that's you there,
or no, I'm sorry,
or
right.
is this about
Ontario.
Sebastian being missing and your child? So why would anyone give a shit unless they're egos? Because this is your son that you're looking for, right? Remember, Katie? You said,
Right.
well, Sebastian just could be anywhere.
I
That's why I'm up
agree.
here with Chris 3 hours away and I've left home. Bullshit. That's not why you're up there. You're up there because you didn't want to be down there to have to deal with everything yourself because you were scared probably. But to take off his decal, really? It's just about you or anyways. All I'm saying is that it's coming across like it keeps being about them, not Sebastian, and it's pissing me off, to say the least. Is it pissing you?
Completely.
Well, that
Yeah.
ticks me
So
off too,
I
to be
have a question,
honest.
and I might just be behind on this part
But
of
I
it, but
wouldn't be complaining about it to Seth.
is it true that like Chris's parents they like took off and went to Alaska the day after Sebastian went
A couple
missing?
days after, I think. Yeah.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
And I would assume like you being Katie's ex, you probably haven't had any interaction with Chris's family, right?
Did he hear it? Seth?
Oh,
Oh, I feel so bad. His poor guy's having
yeah.
like when I've watched him on the other channels, it must be the Canadian thing. It's like,
Jackie Young says it's a crime of shame. Can I post Seth's GoFundMe, please?
yeah, absolutely.
I told you, I think
Yeah,
he
absolutely.
was
Yeah, go ahead.
I,
Yeah, please post
and
Seth's
getting
GoFundMe.
tired, you
yeah, and
know.
for anyone watching
And
now, I
yes,
put
he
out a
was on
video,
pain
and I
meds
still need to update
for his
parts of it.
shoulder.
But I put out a video the other day with Sebastian's information, the timeline, some information. Still need to add some more to it.
And from what I can tell, it looks as though he didn't come back on. Seth does that once in a while. When he's done and they're not looking like they're going to let him go, he just pops off. Um, you know, and I think that's another thing that I'm learning a lot from my first ever interview, right? People need to be respectful. They need to set a time limit and stick to that time limit so that the person you're interviewing, you're being respectful to instead of keeping them on all hours of the night like that. And poor Seth was dealing with his shoulder at that time. He was in a lot of pain. You could tell that on prior videos, right? So, um, yeah, he had had enough, and I don't blame him. It wasn't about Sebastian anymore. You know, it had gone into a Katie Chris, um, I don't know. What do I want to say? I'm trying to be nice, guys. I won't say it was a hate fest, but it was pretty doggone close. And you know, do we distrust them? Absolutely. You know, I've said time and time again, Chris is his own worst enemy. Um, but just to throw shade out there when you're talking to the other parent doesn't make sense to me. Not at all. But we'll continue on tomorrow night. And I've been thinking lately about, you know, how I was talking about grannyisms or whatever. And I was thinking that I wanted to leave you guys with something every night before we close off. Um, so I saw this quote earlier and I wanted to leave it with you. Let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future. Isn't that cool? So let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future. That's by Robert Schuller. I want to just leave you with that tonight. And, you know, I think about that with Seth. Let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future. And that could really go for all of our victims. You know, you think about Gabby Petito's family, um, Summer Wells, um, you know, I mean, it goes Riley Strain's mom and dad, you know, all that. It just let your hopes, not your hurts, shape your future. So think about that, guys, and we will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching another episode of Granny's Crime Busters. We really appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to subscribe and like and even share the content. You can follow us on any of our other social media platforms at YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We really appreciate you guys, and you can also email us at granniescrimebusters@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one. Thanks, guys.